shop. Think I got the message across. Came for the titles, impressed with the watch. We play at the levels of Letterman jocks. Pins on the jacket, the man's abundant. The point of the road was banned and rugged. Hushing, I'm plotting on pants in London. The products are not being scared of some judgment. Gotta stay in the cut you off if you ain't making the cut. Couldn't tell you who the hell is behind us. You start to forget when you stay in the front of it's up. And it's up for grabs, no remorse for who I'm taking it from. Numbers I give on my scoreboard is the only form of us staying in touch, that's saying enough. It's time to receive all of the favors I've done. Too late for y'all to switch teams, everybody getting big leagues. Product flying out the shelf, what's in store for us? Known to hit a hole in one, look at the crowd and shoulder shrug. Shots are limited, I'm scared mango with the golden gun. Posted up, ready for whatever, boy, you know what's up. Time's close, I whittled them down. Sticking to them by sticking around. The gang all on Iwo Jima, got one flag and it's sticking the ground. Setting up shop. Think I got the message across. Came for the titles, impressed with the watch. We play at the levels of Letterman jocks. Shout out to Steve. The boy getting love from the harsh critics. Strauss hit me bi-weekly to tell me keep taking it further. You aren't finished and I gotta listen. Any son of believing and see that I'm actually breathing and doing it real time. Love to pull an idea out there and there, act on it and profit in real life. If we not aligned, don't present me a dotted line. Yeah, I'm a QB, but I ain't handing on nothing for someone to monetize. And it goes to the birds too. Can't give it a time of $1, so cut her eyes. They get X'd out for they added potential to be my ex. I know all the plays, I'm a seasoned vet. Yeah. Always showing up, known to hit a hole in one. Look at the crowd and shoulder shrug. Shots are limited, I'm scared mango with the golden gun. Posted up, ready for whoever, boy, you know what's up. Time's close, I whittled them down. Sticking to them by sticking around. The gang all on Iwo Jima, got one flag and it's sticking the ground. Setting up shop. Think I got the message across. Came for the titles, impressed with the watch. We play at the levels of Letterman jocks. Time's close, I whittled them down. Sticking to them by sticking around. The gang all on Iwo Jima, got one flag. Yeah.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to OH Report World Headquarters here in Mansfield, Ohio, for another episode of The Roundup with me, Big League Berardi. You know, this is one of the best times of year for me. I say that for basketball tournaments, the football playoffs, but my sports are truly baseball and softball, and we're getting into the nitty-gritty. We're getting into conference championship clinching games. We're getting into sectionals, districts, and, you know, believe it or not, it'll feel like just tomorrow we'll be at Firestone Stadium, we'll be at Canal Park, at Thurman Munson Field for the state baseball and softball championships. I mean, the road to Canton and Akron starts pretty much right now. And this is just, I love this time of year. I love getting out there. I love seeing how these players, you know, excel in clutch moments, how these teams come out of nowhere to win sectionals, to win districts, the stories, everything. It's so fun, and I cannot wait to get things started. But we're going to get things started here today on this episode of The Roundup, and we're going to start with something new. I was watching SportsCenter last night with Scott Van Pelt, the GOAT of ESPN, and he always starts something off, his show off with his best thing he's seen that day. Well, I was thinking maybe, you know, we've had some great accomplishments by teams, by players, and I wanted to do something like that. So for now on, for this season, hopefully for next season one, the best thing I have seen recently. So let's roll the footage. This has been the best thing I have seen recently. This is Jordan Fickus of Hillsdale against Richmond. This is a deep fly to left. Hey, she's hit a grand slam in the first inning, gives Hillsdale the big lead. A lot of people have hit grand slams, right? But not what she's about to do coming up here. This is still the first inning. This is not the same video I showed you. She hits 2 grand slams in the same inning. 2! That ties the state record, 8 RBI in an inning. Also, the funny thing, she's not the only person in Ohio to do it this season. A girl from New Regal did it earlier this year. But got to shout out Jordan Fickus. We put this on our OH Report Facebook and all of our socials, and people loved it. I had to show it again. I mean, not many times do you get to witness somebody hit 2 grand slams in a game, let alone the same inning. So congratulations, Jordan Fickus. What an accomplishment as the Lady Falcons are rolling right now. They knocked off Monroeville in a battle of state-ranked teams 20-1 in a game you saw on the OH Report on Saturday morning. They are peaking at the right time. You know who else is peaking at the right time? You'll see a little tease. Danville, the Lady Blue Devils, they won the KMAC championship, and that is our highlighted conference for this week. We're going to go over our highlighted conference. We also have our Diamond Cuts with Brian Skowronski. I have another episode of the Greatest Hits and the Week 1 chart topper. And as always, we have our shout-outs and Talk of the Town. But let's get into our highlighted conference for the day, and that is the Knox Morrow Athletic Conference. They do call me KMAC Trav for a reason. And let's start off with scores from the ladies, the softball. Buckeye Central, Northmore, just yesterday. Grace Colleen struck out 9 batters as the Buckets scored 3 unanswered to knock off the Lady Knights of Northmore 4-3. Mount Gilead in a D6 sectional semi, they handle East Knox 10-0. They'll head to state number 1 Danville on Friday in a sectional championship. On Monday for the Northmore Lady Knights, Shelby Cooper threw an absolute gem, a 1-hit, 8-strikeout performance to shut out Galleon 5-0. If you wanted offense, just look at the Buckeye Valley Cardington-Lincoln game 2 days ago. It was 13-12 Buckeye Valley in 8 innings. If you liked offense, this was your game. 18 combined runs were scored in the final 4 innings, as 7 innings weren't enough, like I said. 8 innings, 13-12 Buckeye Valley. Now a battle of state-ranked squads. Like I said, number 1 Danville in D6, number 7 Olentangy Liberty in Division 1. Addie Bocock struck out 12 batters. She also hit a home run. It was Danville's first defeat, but like I said, they put a battle up with a state-ranked squad from Division 1. That is how good the Danville Lady Devils are this season. Alicia Felix had herself a day for the Loudonville Lady Redbirds in their win over Lucas 15-6. She went 4 for 5 with 7 RBI and 2 runs scored, accounting for 9 of Loudonville's 15 total runs. Some other scores: Danville knocking off East Knox 10-0 in a battle of rivals. Fredericktown swept in a weekend doubleheader with Lancaster 13-1, 6-2, and Granville knocked off Centerburg 11-2. Now let's take a look at the standings in the Knox Morrow Athletic Conference, and congratulations, like I said, to the number 1 team in Division 6, the Lady Devils of Danville. 22-1 now, 14-0 in the KMAC. Cardington finishes 2 games behind them, 16-4, 12-2. They have a very high seed in their district tournament. Centerburg 13-9, 9-5. They finished 5 games back. Fredericktown, they still have a game to play in the KMAC. They're 5.5 back. Northmore 7.5 back. Loudonville finishes 7-14, 10 back. East Knox 1-15. Mount Gilead 5-15. Congratulations, Danville, KMAC champs once again. Now let's head over to the baseball side of things and take a look at the scoreboard for the past couple of days. And a game you saw completed on the OH Report on Monday before the rain came. Centerburg put up 5 runs with 2 out in the top of the 9th, and Daniel Lamaster shut the door in the bottom of the inning to clinch at least a share of the KMAC championship for the Trojans. But on Monday, it kind of looked like they were going to get the outright championship. Northmore took a 3-2 lead in the top of the 6th at Cardington, but the Pirates score 5 in the bottom to keep their hopes alive at least a share. Over the weekend, Bern Union knocked off Centerburg 7-3. Mason Valance, though, 1 for 2 with 3 stolen bases, an RBI, and a run scored in the loss. East Knox falling to Fairfield Union 14-4, but Luke Holsinger had an RBI double in the non-conference defeat for the East Knox Bulldogs. On Saturday as well, Cardington knocking off Marion Harding, another high-scoring affair, 11-8. Denton Garrison hit a 2-run homer as the Pirates scored 8 runs in the final 3 innings to knock off Harding 11-8. Cole Eichhorn went 3 for 4, 3 RBI, and a run scored in Lexington's 13-2 victory at Fredericktown. As for the Northmore Golden Knights, they scored 7 times in the top of the 6th to defeat Lucas 11-1 in 6. Brookston Beck provided a bases-clearing double to help the Golden Knights get the 10-run victory. Last week also, Fredericktown falling to Highland 9-5. The Fighting Scots scored 4 times in the bottom of the 6th to come back for the victory after Fredericktown scored once to take a 5-4 lead in the top. East Knox scored twice against Clear Fork in the top of the 7th, had the tying run at second, but the sac fly was caught. Runner was thrown out at third to end the game. Clear Fork holds on 10-9. And then our final score from the baseball side of things, Loudonville 10-4 victors. Judah Layton went 4 for 4 with 3 RBI and 2 runs scored for the Redbirds. Now let's take a look at the standings. And like I said, the Trojans have clinched at least a share of the KMAC. They got to play East Knox one more time this week. Cardington plays Northmore one more time. So either a Centerburg win or a Cardington loss, and Centerburg gets it outright. Or if both teams win, Centerburg gets it outright. However, Centerburg loses, Cardington wins, we have a share of the KMAC championship. East Knox eliminated with their 9-inning loss at Centerburg on Monday. They finished 3 back. Danville 3.5 back. Northmore 4.5 back. All 5 teams at the top are going to finish at or above 500. Fredericktown 6-13. They lost a lot to graduation, but they did knock off Centerburg, one of Centerburg's 2 losses. So, rivalry games, you got to throw that record out the door. Loudonville 4-17 with Mount Gilead. However, Loudonville 3 more victories in conference. They're 4-10. Mount Gilead 1-13. So there you have it. Scores and standings from the Knox Morrow Athletic Conference. Congratulations once again to Danville and to Centerburg. Now it's time to send it over to a man that can add track and field commentator to his resume. It is the boss man of the OH Report, Brian Skowronski, with your Diamond Cuts. Take it away, Ski.
Thanks, KMAC, Trav, and shout out to all the KMAC runners yesterday and the throwers and the jumpers that got the championships or competed. Really had a great time being a part of our first ever track and field event. If you didn't get a chance to watch it, check it out right now on our Facebook and YouTube. But who is ready for some defensive plays? That's what Diamond Cuts is all about. As we get it back to softball and baseball, we're going to show you the plays that made jaws drop and left opponents in shock. Here they come, the top 5 defensive plays captured by our cameras from the last week. These are your Diamond Cuts, presented exclusively by Graham Auto Mall. Let's jump right into the countdown with the bare minimum, at least in terms of the number of pitches thrown by Buckeye Central's Grace Colleen, who shut down Northern 10 rival Cary in this frame with 9 straight strikes to set down the side, swinging, looking, really pretty much anything but making contact, as the Buckettes roll behind the seniors' gifted right arm. I'm sure you've heard that term quick as a cat before. Well, that's what we're looking at right here with Kenny Wilson, playing true to his Bobcats mascot, showcasing the fast twitch ability in the junior, making it look easy too, flashing that leather from the bump with his swift left paw. Big game in the N10 softball race, and check out this early momentum building effort by Upper's defense, ending the frame with the 1-6-3 double play. Not an easy comebacker to field for Ella Fromba either, but the junior hurler makes the play from the circle, tosses over to second to help kickstart a Lady Rams double play in victory. Another massive conference game coming up at number 2. Highland looking for some 6th inning insurance runs, but Porter Schmidt says claim denied. Amazing diving effort from the Clear Fork center fielder to keep it just a 1-score game. One of many slick catches from the sophomore in this game, but none better than this late game heroic effort. But at number 1 this week, let's head out to Shelby, where the defending MOAC champs are looking to rally late. Piper Studer, though, brings out the dessert to end the meal early. How about a center field snow cone served up by the Ontario sophomore? Lady Warriors vault to the top of the league standings thanks to this delicious Diamond Cut. Now, Mama always told me to wait until after you finish your meal to dive into the sweets, but really, what a sweet catch there by Piper. That's my #1 play of the week, but what say you? Get the debate going down in the comments section, and looking forward to 4 more of these still coming up this season. So that's the defensive plays that we had on our menu from this last week. How about the greatest hits? Big leagues on the way. He's got them coming into your living room next.
When you buy a Ford, you're buying American. You're buying a car, truck, or SUV built in Michigan, Missouri, Kentucky, and Ohio. Built by Americans, for Americans, in America. No tariffs, no price increase. You pay what we pay with Ford employee pricing for all. Ford Country. Everything we do is driven by you.
KMAC Trav's back with another edition of Big League's Weekly Top 40 minus 35. You know what this is. It is another edition of the greatest hits. But before we give our top 5 nominees, it is time to look at our first chart topper of the season. Roll it. And it is Judah Chamberlain coming up, Mr. Clutch, off the bench for Clear Fork. 2 out, 2 strikes. In the bottom of the 7th, that RBI single gave the Clear Fork Colts a walk-off victory against rival Lexington. Congratulations to Judah. And now it is time to unveil our 5 nominees for this week's edition of the Greatest Hits. Hit me with the horn, Tony. Greatest hit #1 comes from the MTV era in 1984 from the group Scandal, as Ontario's lineup was shooting at the walls of the battlefield. Bang, bang, they are the Warriors. 3 home runs on the road against Shelby is good enough to make the countdown. Our second nominee takes us to last year and a man named Shabuzi. Hillsdale's Jordan Fickus wasn't serving up beverages, but she was serving up hits to the tone of 1, here comes the 2 to the 3 to the 4. Keep her at the plate and she'll give you 30 more. Jordan did not record an out in her 5 plate appearances in Hillsdale's 20-1 victory over Monroeville. Now we go back to the year Big League graduated high school in 2006 for greatest hit #3. Buckeye Central do-it-all pitcher and slugger Grace Colleen did her best Unk impersonation as this drive did the walk it off. A home run to finish the 10-run victory. Now to #4 and back to 1981 in the rock group named Queen as a couple of Golden Knights who not only protect Her Majesty, but also a lead as Brady Carr, under pressure, lays down the perfect squeeze bunt and not only scores the run, but beats out the throw for an infield hit. Da-da-da-ya, da-da-da-ya, that's okay. Our final greatest hit comes from 1974 in Carl Douglas. Everybody was kung fu fighting. Upper Sandusky's Madison Hart karate chops this drive, but just misses a big fly. She does get a double, and like our greatest hit, Madison Hart was kung fu fighting. Huh! There are your 5 nominees for this week's chart topper. Representatives are not standing by, but you can vote once in the comments section below with your choice. Now it is time for the best part of the show, as I think at least. It is the shout-outs from our MVP interviews over the past week in another episode of Talk of the Town, brought to you by Graham Ford.
Shout out my family, my mom and dad, my grandma and grandpa. They come to every game. I love their support, and I love seeing them here.
Coaching staff, definitely. Coach Gresh, Coach Albright, Coach K, Coach Sturch, all the coaches. I mean, they put in a lot of time for us, and they put us in the best position to win. Z back there behind the plate, he always helps me a lot. Helps me out a lot. My grandma, grandpa, mom, the rest of the family, everybody, and anyone who's watching on it, we appreciate it, and we love having all the support we get.
I want to shout out my team. They definitely pushed through this whole thing. It wasn't all me, that's for sure. I want to shout out my coaches, especially Coach Burke, because she always encourages me. And my family, for sure, especially my dad. He's always the one that's right beside the dugout cheering me on.
Shout out Berardi Beck, good pitching. Shout out Jack, and shout out Brew Baker.
I want to shout out my mom, my dad, Addie Jake, Carly Bose, Hope Morris, Brooke Frombaugh, Ella Frombaugh. Wait.
A Winford player? What?
Okay. Ava Saw, Madison Hart, Kennedy Gunther, Lauren Parker, Carly Clayball, and Leah McCann.
Okay, I want to shout out our pitcher, Kira, because she pitched an amazing game. And I want to shout out my whole team and Jesus Christ. And yeah.
I'd like to shout out Brandy. She's always taking photos. I'd like to shout out, I haven't shouted out my dad. He's pretty chill.
Cool.
He pops up. And a field crew, game just ended and they're already out there. And they're great.
Before we get out of here for today, I want to look at the final standings, the final state rankings by the Ohio Softball Coaches Association because, well, we have a poll champion. We have a lot of other teams that finished in the top 10 in Divisions 4 through 7. So without further ado, let's take a look at the state rankings, the final state rankings for this season. First, in Division 4, the Lexington Lady Lex, they finished number 5 in the state. Kenton Ridge, the state poll champions. They got 9 of 11 first place votes. Elyria Catholic, number 2. Hillsborough, 3. Licking Valley, 4. Like I said, Lexington, 5. Millbury Lake, 6. Bryan, River Valley, and Buckeye finished in a tie for 7th, and Hebron Lakewood, number 10. So a MOAC squad also in Division 4 at number 7. Now to Division 5, where the Crestview Lady Cougars get in at number 9. They had 2 losses on the season, but they are the Firelands Conference champions. Liberty Union, 8 of 11 first place votes, number 1. Wheelersburg, number 2. Fairbanks, 3. Warren champion for Miami East, 5. And you see the rest of the teams. So Crestview finishes top 10 for the season. They have a chance at making a run in the tournament. Now to Division 6 and your champs. The poll champions out of the KMAC, the Danville Lady Devils. 1 loss on a season, and like I said, it was to Division 1, number 7. 9 of 12 possible first place votes. Tri-Village, number 2, had 2. West Jefferson, who is in their district, at number 4, had the other one. Lincoln View, number 3. Minster, number 5. Hillsdale, the Lady Falcons, finish at number 6 in the state. Leesburg, Fairfield at 7, Rockford Parkway 8, Crooksville number 9, and Mogador number 10. Mogador, the top seed in the Northeast District. Hillsdale number 2. Now to the final poll, Division 7, Conotton Valley just squeaks out the poll championship, 5 points ahead of a tie for second between Portsmouth, Notre Dame, and Sims Valley. Vienna Matthews at number 4. Mohawk finishes number 5. Southeastern 6, Tiffin Calvert, number 7. The Monroeville Lady Eagles finish number 8. New Regal, number 9. And Ayersville, number 10. So there's a lot of area teams in the Division 7 rankings. So once again, congratulations to the poll champions in Divisions 4 through 7, especially the Danville Lady Devils. That's going to do it for this episode of the Roundup. But before we get out of here, let's take a look at what's going to be on the OH Report here for the rest of the week. What is coming up now? This is subject to change. We could add games. We could subtract games. As we start off Thursday, Waynedale, Hillsdale. Hillsdale heads to Waynedale as Jonathan Langdon will be on the call of that one for some regular season baseball. We'll also have the Lady Falcons at home against Norwayne. Keith Kakinda will get his time on the mic on Thursday. Now to Friday, a big one for Clear Fork. They could clinch a share of the MOAC championship against River Valley. Brian Skowronski will be on the call there. And then on Saturday, a big game in the Northern 10, Mohawk and Upper Sandusky. Jonathan Langdon will be calling the call of that. And like I said, subject to change. Weather could play an issue in this. I know we're supposed to get some storms once again. Come on, Mother Nature, just stop, please. And, you know, we may add a game or two or not, but we'll see. Just stay tuned here with the OH Report. But that'll do it for episode 2 of 6 of this season of the Roundup. Had some great highlights and Diamond Cuts greatest hits. Make sure once again to vote for the greatest hit. You have until midnight on Tuesday night, Wednesday morning to get that in. Shout outs as always, and our highlighted conference, the KMAC. But I'm gonna get out of here because I got a game to call. I'll see you next week right here on the Roundup.